Very good morning, my dear Vivites. This is Prem Kumar, Executive Purple Diamond from Indus Viva. I'm very glad that today through this webinar I'm able to talk to most of you across different parts of this country. So let me start with today's message, what I've got for you. I would like to talk to you about a very important part of your business building, your career of being an entrepreneur. I believe that association is a very important part of your growth as an entrepreneur. Because the moment you start thinking of being an entrepreneur, you need to know to associate with the right kind of people. Let me take the quotation of Swami Vivekananda, who beautifully explained the meaning of association in one of his teachings, I would say. I want to take the exact words, so I just use the notes what I've got it. So beautifully explained by Swami Vivekananda. He says the meaning of association. Let's see. A raindrop from the sky, if it is caught by clean hands, is pure enough for drinking. If it falls in the gutter, its value drops so much that it can't be used even for washing your feet. If it falls on a hot surface, of course, it evaporates. If it falls on a lotus leaf, it shines like a pearl. And finally, if it falls on an oyster, it becomes a pearl. The drop is the same, but its existence and worth depends on whom it is associated with. Always be associated with people who are good at heart. And the explanation goes on. Let me come back to your subject. We are speaking about being an entrepreneur with Indus Viva. I know most of you have started your career with a lot of passion and a lot of excitement, that you want to achieve a lot of dreams, a lot of aspirations in your life, travel around the world, meet different types of people, enjoy the lifestyle you want, and give the best for you, yourself and your family. But then everything melts down to one important part of your career, that's with whom you are associated. As the explanation was very much given by, in the phrase which I read it for you, it clearly says that your worth and what you become is clearly decided by, by the very aspect that with whom you are associated. So let me ask you, as an entrepreneur in Indus Viva, what's happening with you? When you start off with Indus Viva, you have a lot of excitement, you come into the business, you start associating with your uplines, and the first person who connects you to the system, to the business, is your sponsor. So the association with your sponsor is very critical. It's very important for your growth. Because when you are associated, when I say the meaning association, it means you are submerged. You are totally immersed into it. Like, you take a dip in a swimming pool. You get into the water completely. So how much close are you to your sponsor? It determines your speed in business, the growth you're going to have in this business. And after that, how well are you associated with the events which is happening in your locality? Let's say your sponsor, your upline might be organizing a lot of events. There may be VOP, Viva Orientation Programs, which is a very important part of your business development. Then there may be some kind of event called the Way to Millionaire. And we do have the 20 city tours happening and different events happening at different times throughout the year. So are you associated with all the events? Are you connected with all these events? That's very important. The first thing is being associated with your sponsor, and then comes the events. Okay? So these are very critical, very important for your business development. And that is the first part, that is, you need to be associated with these things. But let me also tell you another important thing, because it's not just to know what to do, you also need to know what you should avoid doing. In that way, I would say, I see a lot of people coming into the business with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of, passion. and they start working, they start developing themselves. And in the course, what happens? You are already connected with a lot of different people, right from your childhood, your neighborhood, your school, your education system, wherever you come from, your community, your family, your relatives, and your close buddies, right? So you are already associated with different kinds of people when you come into industry. What I've seen is that once people come into the business, come into the system, there is a challenging phase which every one of us go through. The challenging phase is, do we continue to be associated with all the people with whom we were associated for a long time, maybe right from your childhood till today? Or do you avoid them? Do you cut off from them? So there is a big question there. What happens is, when you start associating with the business, with your sponsor and your upline and the events, that's good. That's going to give you the nutrition to grow faster in the business. But then, if you don't move away from the other associations which you might be having, what happens is, whatever good things you are getting from, the nutrition you're getting from the events and your upline and your sponsor, etc., it's going to get diluted when you start moving around with the same people. They say very beautifully, doing the same thing again and again, you can't expect a different result. All of us want different result, something different than what we have got so far in our life. So I would say, if you want a different result, you should be ready to do what you have not done till today. That is, you need to disassociate with the other people. When I say disassociate, it doesn't mean that you forget them, you cut them, you chuck them out of your life. I didn't mean to say that. What I mean to say is that spend most of your time with your upline, your sponsor, your upline's events, the company events, because that's what is more needed for you at this point in time when you are moving from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. So spend more time here. Why I say that you need to disassociate with all the others? It's basically with this understanding that when you start spending time more there, you wouldn't find the time which you need to invest into the actual required things. So when you put your time more into this, naturally you will be facing this challenge of moving away. Let me tell you, in the initial days of building my Viva business, I had to say no to many of the functions, many of the gatherings. Many of my friends were waiting for me. I was not able to make it for the events, maybe for a get-together, for a movie with all your friends and your buddies. Because I knew that I am building something very, very important and I need to be focused on this, on my business, on my career, on my success. So if I don't take the responsibility of putting all myself into this, my 100%, and if I'm not sold out completely for this, I wouldn't make it. So what I did, let me tell you, for few months, I would say at least for the first and the second year in my business building career in Viva, I started giving my complete self to my business. I avoided most of the association which I, felt that was not important for me at that point in time. Of course, my friends are very much needed for me in my life. My relatives are needed. My family members are very much needed. But I would keep that on a minimal basis and give my maximum to my business development. So that way, you will be able to make it big in this business. Because I see a lot of people, let me give you an example. There's a person who started the business, okay? And he's very passionate, he's doing very good. And he started associating with the business. And he started introducing few of his friends. And what happened is, some of his friends who found that this business may not be suitable for them, they are good, I appreciate them. They found that this business may not be good for them. and they didn't come into the business. And this gentleman whom I'm talking about, he was associated with the upline and the company and the events. What happened? The whole day he would spend here with the company and the upline and the events and building his own business. And when he gets free time, he would go and associate with those friends who are not into the business. So technically speaking, who are not into the agreement that this business would, make it happen. So this gentleman was always motivated when he was in the system connected to the business, and when he would go to his friends and start spending time with them, start talking to them, they would inject all those, I would say, negative thoughts into this person's mind of saying him what cannot happen, what can go wrong, and all those things, blah, 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 blah. So this gentleman, he is motivated being in the business, in the system, and when he moves and gets associated with the others who are not a part of his business, he used to get confused. So what happens here is you tend to lose a lot of your time in this confusion. So I would say for some time you need to know that association is critical. So stay away from all those people who are not, especially I would say this word, not pro viva. What's the meaning of pro viva? Let's say your uncle or one of your relative is not pro viva. He doesn't understand viva business, but he always says no, don't do viva, or he's not able to support you to do viva business. So I would say he's not a pro viva. So don't spend time, don't hang around with that person because he's not pro viva. So definitely when you go and spend time with that kind of people, you would definitely lose out your motivation, your empowerment, what you have gained from the programs, from the trainings, that would die down. So better always hang around with people who are pro viva, and that would help you to have the right association and then to build your business in a faster manner. That's what Barack Obama beautifully said a few years ago before he could become the president of the United States. He said, if you want to fly with eagles, stop swimming with ducks. It's a beautiful statement. What he really meant is, it's not that you're going to be an eagle and your friends are like not eagles or ducks. It doesn't mean that way. It's clearly, I would say, it's a symbolical way of telling the people with a higher thinking, those who have a bigger thought, bigger dream, those who have a bigger vision in their life. I would consider them as the eagles. And the ducks, I would say the people who want a mediocre life, who want a normal life, who are okay being in the middle class life. They're okay to cope up with all the financial problems, what they're going through. They don't want to work on themselves. They don't want to build their business, or they don't want to build their life in a bigger level. So there is a clear distinction. If you look at the nature, it's so beautiful that the eagles are always flying in the sky and the ducks are swimming in the water. It's good. It's good for the duck. Let the duck remain there. Let the eagle remain there. What we need to learn from that is, if you want to fly with eagles, be with eagles. That's when you will know that what an eagle really means, and you would also catch up with those kind of thoughts and those kind of thinking and those kind of, the dreams and the goals and aspirations, the high thinking would flow into you. And then you need to stay away from the duck, because the eagle and the duck, they are two different kinds of birds, I would say. Even though they are birds, they have a different life altogether. The eagle always soars very high in the sky above the clouds. It's got a very beautiful vision of looking from the top what's happening on the ground. And it's one of the beautiful birds which you can always see flying in the sky. So the eagle's patterns, the style, everything is different. The duck's attitude, the duck's way of living, the duck's life is totally different from that of an eagle. So in Indus Viva, you have started your life, your career, to be an entrepreneur. And not everybody around you might understand your journey, and that's okay. Only thing you need to do is stay away from such people for some time, toxic people. I once heard somebody say beautifully, there are three categories of people. the dream makers, the dream breakers, and in between there is the dream stealers. So why this association is very critical? Because you might be a dream maker and you're going to be a dream breaker in the future, and in between you need to escape the so-called the dream stealers. So the dream stealers are those people who are okay with a mediocre life. They're okay with all small things. They don't want, to have a better quality of life for themselves and their families. Probably they want it, but they don't understand how to do it, and they're not ready to learn how to do it. So what happens? The dream stealers sometime might spoil the career, the journey of a dream maker who is going to be a dream breaker. So staying away from such people will help you to accelerate your speed towards your success in Indus Viva. As an entrepreneur, you are always a dream breaker. You are always having bigger aspirations. So there might be people who are dream stealers. You may not be aware of them. They might be even your own family members, your own friends. They have nothing to do with being good or bad. I wouldn't say they are bad, or I wouldn't say they are good. I would just say let them be there. You choose with whom you need to associate and move ahead in the direction of your dreams. That would be the best way for you to accelerate your success, your growth and your development in this business. Alright, so let me wind up with the statement of Barack Obama once again. If you want to fly with eagles, stop swimming with the ducks, and take your business to the next level by being associated with the right people, with the right programs, with the right events, and let all your dreams come true in this year in Indus Viva. All the best to all of you. Have a wonderful week ahead. This is Executive Purple Diamond Prem Kumar signing off. Thank you very much.